internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hour Script. Let's get right in today's video. This is going to be phenomenal. I don't think you guys understand what we're about to witness, and I want every single one of you guys to take a little screenshot in your head with the numbers right here with $64,000 Bitcoin, XRP at 62 cents, and this whole crypto ecosystem at $2.2 trillion, because this thing is about to erupt. And more individuals are bashing the US dollar. And why I believe in the near future there is going to be a massive announcement in regards to the role of the US dollar. Before I get further into the video, let me set the tone. I've created a little collage of a video. Listen to it. The warning lights are there. Jerome Powell warned us a couple years ago for the role of the US dollar, but this collage right here is going to give you the perfect picture. And then after, we're going to get into why we may see the first crypto asset as a national currency and why XRP is going to flip Bitcoin 100%. And I'm going to go over some hardcore evidence that you just cannot dispute with because it's from the IMF PDF. Okay, it's from this year, from the notes. I've covered it previously, but we're going to add it all up together and you're going to see exactly what is coming down the pipelines. And again, prepare for the unimaginable. Whatever we're about to witness, no humanity has ever witnessed it, ever. Prepare. I mean, by now...
Of course, high taxes are extremely high here in the United States. I give you that. You're right in that. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is not the high taxes themselves, but the fact that they are not even really funding the government. So who's financing the government? Government is financed by treasury bonds, paper. And who buys the treasury bonds?
So we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money, and we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds or other government guaranteed securities, and that actually increases the money supply.
Mostly the Fed. And how does the Fed buy them?
We also print actual currency and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve banks.
By printing money. But what backing does the Fed have for that money being printed? The treasury bonds themselves. So basically, you finance the government by printing money out of thin air. Someone could ask, well, so if the government can print unlimited amounts of money out of thin air, why did they collect taxes? I mean, in theory, it would make sense, right? If they can print unlimited amounts of money, why would they need taxes for? The answer is simple, but it's very shocking. The real problem is that you pay high taxes only to uphold the illusion that you are funding the government, which you are not. The government is funded by money printing, paper backed with paper, a bubble that will inevitably burst. The situation is even worse than it seems, because if most Americans and the rest of the world were to become aware of this farce, confidence in your currency would be lost. The dollar will fall, and the Western civilization with it.
Rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments.
If the next president of the United States doesn't make the necessary policies and structural changes, sooner or later that bubble will burst.
Rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments.
The problem is there are so many people on this planet, and so many of them want to, pretend to be blind, deaf, and they don't want to take action because they were born into the matrix and they don't know any better. So that is why the individuals that educate themselves understand how the world operates, and it's a very scary place. Biden is killing the US dollar. That's the narrative going around. Putin issues the serious warning about the US's $34 trillion debt. And it's remarkable because Trump comes out and says, we're just going to pay the debt off. For a president to say that, something is happening behind the scenes. That was discussed about a $34 trillion debt. Regardless of it being, a little sarcastic joke, which I don't think it was. They really do have a plan to reset this whole system. We're about to see it. The beginning of the end for the US dollar global dominance. And remember, every global currency for every other country, it's failed. The US is like the longest lasting one because they were able to do this Ponzi scheme on a, amazing level to get everybody hooked on it. And before I get into this whole XRP acting as a supranational currency, some of you guys may say this is old news, but it really isn't, because look where we are today and look what has been discussed years ago. A supranational currency is a global currency that would be transacted internationally with no set borders. This is very important. Because if you guys even remember that patent that is currently pending by WorldPay, where they reference the interledger protocol and also utilizing, for settlement Ripple. Remember what he said about potential new currencies.
And, with new innovation coming and new payment types emerging, new currencies emerging and entirely new systems, actually it's becoming more complicated, not less at the moment.
And then you have an article from the IMF talking about crypto assets as a national currency, a step too far. But where we are today, this is what they're pretty much coiling up for. And the 2024 IMF notes pretty much tell you this. But nobody understands it and nobody reads it. And I covered this 3 weeks ago, but you need to understand this again and engrave it to your mind because this is happening. Remember this little diagram from the IMF in regards to how money moves and transacts. You have the payment, the sender, and then you have the recipient. And then they have this, mysterious crypto payment system. But they make it very clear that this payment system has to be really reliable. The level of efficiency that digital currencies can achieve would depend also on the payment system solution and their interoperability, underlying technology, regulatory compliance costs, and design features. Oh my goodness. Here's the thing. Half of you are going to be like, wow, that is such a powerful line given, them talking about this payment system. And then some of you guys may not understand the importance of this. This is very important. Listen to it and look at what Ripple has achieved and built since inception. The level of efficiency that digital currencies can achieve would depend also on the payment system solution and their interoperability, underlying technology, regulatory compliance costs, and design features. And this is the mic drop moment where an average person really needs to get an explanation on this because it's hard to understand. Your average person on the sidewalk is not going to know anything about this. A potential shift to a multipolar reserve configuration may require global reserve currency issuers to substantially expand liquidity backstopping mechanisms to minimize the risk of disorderly switching between reserve currencies and improve access to GFSN resources.
Once the xRapid service scales to a global full scale, or would there be a shortage?
Well, so when XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided there'd be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency. I think the opportunity, there never will be more than 100 billion XRP. All the XRP that have ever been created have been created.
A shift to a multipolar reserve configuration. We only talked about this once, but this area needs to be educated on. What does this mean? This refers to a shift from a system where one or two currencies dominate as global reserves, like the US dollar, to a system where multiple currencies share this role. And given in 2024, what other currencies do you think is going to come out and share this role? We're going into a brand new ecosystem with new currencies being born. So ask yourself, which one is it going to be? It suggests that if the global reserve system shifts from a single dominant currency right now, which is the US, to a more multipolar system with several key currencies, there will be a need for enhanced financial mechanisms to ensure stability and smooth transactions between currencies. This includes bolstering support systems to prevent disruptions and ensuring countries can access emergency financial resources more effectively. Like, this is a big deal. I want you guys to understand that money makes the world go around. We live for money. I don't care what people say. You wake up and you're chasing money. You're chasing that next paycheck to pay for your rent. The world evolves around money. So when you're talking about introducing a brand new system, this thing needs to be done right on the first go around. It's crazy how people understand and some people are impatient, but truly, we all chase that one thing. Regardless of whatever you say, it's going to be God. I'm not at the end of the day, it's money. Let's get real. Don't lie to yourself. And then, can XRP play this role? Absolutely. XRP's primarily use case is to enhance liquidity and efficiency in payment systems. And XRP can support new financial products, services that facilitate the transition to a more multipolar reserve system. When XRP gains wider acceptance among central banks and financial institutions, it will become more significant tool for global liquidity management. And here we have that PowerPoint presentation that was, pitched to the World Bank back in 2017, and they're talking about a digital fiat currency is not a supranational currency, and they labeled it as XRP. They're referring to XRP as a supranational currency, meaning it is a international transacted currency with no set borders. And they're saying that it is not a digital fiat currency because a digital fiat currency cannot transact internationally with no set borders, because it will run into barriers. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys sat through this whole video and watched every single minute of it, and I'm sure many of you guys do every other day, congratulations. This kind of information is only tailored to a certain mindset. And I'm telling you right now, that is a fact. If you could sit through these videos and consume this information and acknowledge the fact that the world is changing and you agree on these levels, you are gifted, truly a gifted mindset where, soon people are going to be getting taught by the mainstream media, but for you guys to grasp this on early and understand the patience in this game and how early we are and where we're headed towards, and you expect the unexpected, honestly, it's truly a blessing. So with that being said, everybody, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys very soon, and we'll be back with another video.
With the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.